Hi guys, my name is Dr. Mona Hardas. I'm a gynecologist from Flint, Michigan. I am a cosmetic gynecologist as well, and my passion is education. So today we are going to talk about some myths about tampons. There are so many of them. Oh my goodness, there are so many questions people have, and there is so much misconception out there. But there are 10 of those I picked today to talk about it. Maybe next time we'll talk about more. So the first myth is you should not use tampon with your first menstrual cycle. Now this is not true, okay? If you are old enough to have a menstrual cycle, your vagina is big enough to accommodate a tampon. It's totally fine. The most important thing is to learn how to put a tampon properly, because you don't know how to put it in properly. This is the first time you're using it. It might be a little uncomfortable just because of the technique, not because the vagina is small or anything like that. So can you use it? Absolutely, you can. The second myth, that by using tampon, the vagina gets stretched out. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Remember, vagina is a stretchy organ. A baby comes out of it, right? The baby's head comes out of it. Tampon is tiny. So it's not going to stretch the vagina at all. So if you're worried about it, don't. If you want to use the tampon, go ahead, use it. Number 3, you should not use the tampon if you are not sexually active, because it will take your virginity. Wrong again. Now, this misconception came because vagina is covered with this thin membrane called a hymen. Now, hymen has a small opening in it, and that's how the menstrual blood comes out, whether you're sexually active or not. You have your menstrual cycle every month, right? The blood comes out of that tiny opening in the hymen. You can put the tampon through the hymen, that opening in the hymen, and not break the hymen. Plus, hymen can break for so many other reasons. If you are into sports, if you are into some kind of a physical activity, you had a fall. I mean, there are so many reasons. And what does it have to do with virginity? Virginity is being sexually active. Hymen broken or not, nothing to do with it. So you want to use the tampon and you're not sexually active, totally can do that. Maybe get a smaller one, learn the proper technique. Then the next one is you should not sleep with a tampon in. Now come on, right? You can use a tampon up to 8 hours, the max. You need to change it every 8 hours. So if you're gonna sleep more than 8 hours, then yeah, you have to get up in the middle of the night and change it. But your vagina doesn't know if you're awake or sleeping. You can use the tampon at night, definitely. Definitely. So don't worry about it, but remember you need to change it within an 8 hours. And that brings me to my next point, where people worry about using tampon because of toxic shock syndrome. Now, tampon doesn't cause toxic shock syndrome. Toxic shock syndrome is because of the overgrowth of bacteria called Staphylococcus aureus. And these bacteria can grow, they are in the vagina, but they can overgrow with any kind of a menstrual product if it is kept there for a long time. And that's why really important to change your tampon, change your menstrual cup at least every 8 hours or so, so you don't have to. And for any reason, if you had symptoms like fever or chills or pain or discharge, just change it. Change the tampon, take it out, maybe use a pad at that time. So there's another thing, right? People are worried about the tampon being lost in the vagina. It's not gonna get lost. There is cervix, which blocks the top of the vagina, so it can't go farther than that, right? So the tampon might get a little bit deeper and may be difficult for you to find it. You might have to insert your fingers a little deeper to figure out where the tampon is, but it is not gonna get lost. And if you really can get it out, go see your gynecologist. We have done it quite a few times because people are afraid of going too deep to get it out. Just call us, we will remove it, but it is not gonna get lost. Same way, girls worry about tampon falling out if they are running, or they are have a thong, or they are doing some physical activity. If it's a properly fitting tampon, if it's inserted properly deep enough, it is not going to fall out. The muscles in the vagina will hold it in place, so don't worry about it, okay? Another myth is every time you go to bathroom to pee, you have to change a tampon. No, you don't. Remember, you pee from a hole called urethra. Then behind the urethra is the vagina, and the tampon is deep into the vagina. So when you pee, your tampon doesn't get soaked in the urine. It doesn't. The string is there, right? The string, if you don't move it out of the way, can get a little wet. But that's it. So just make sure the string is out of the way when you pee. Now, some people have to change it because the tampon is full. That's a different story. But just because you're peeing doesn't mean you have to remove the tampon. Okay? Another one which I hear very commonly is that, oh, if I use tampon, I get endometriosis. No, you don't. Tampon is not going to block the cervix. You know, endometriosis happens because the blood flows backward through the uterus, out of the fallopian tubes into the peritoneal cavity or the body. Now people worry that if tampon is full, it's gonna block the cervix and the blood will go backward. No. Remember what happens when tampon is full? The blood leaks out. You know, you ruin your underwear, you have to wear sometimes double it up with a pad. That's what happens. You are not gonna get endometriosis because you are wearing a tampon. Another one I wanted to talk to you about is that organic tampons are better than regular tampons. There are no studies, nowhere, none of the literature has proven that organic ones are better. Organic ones are expensive, and if you want to, pay extra money and use organic, go ahead, do that. But you don't have to because they are better. As long as you change your tampon on time and you follow a proper hygiene, you're gonna be fine no matter what kind of a tampon you're using, okay? Now, these are only few of those myths I have actually talked about. There are so many other questions. So, any other questions you guys have, please comment below and I'll answer those, or call my office. Let's sit down and talk about this.